On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
So we going out.
We're men. We got the same dicks as we had back then. A dick is a dick. A pussy is a pussy.
Wait. I'm not going to go down that part. I agree with the fellas. Like, men knew that they had to do certain things in order for them to get the box. It's just like when you was in high school. Oh, you got to go with me first, right? Like, you got to go before she give herself to you. Like, she knew it was something in there, like it was a standard. I'm not just going to give myself to you all easily. Like,
yeah, but the difference though, Rashawn, is that Mr. Let Go is right, but the other part of it is just that there's always been. It seems like today women play down to the lowest common denominator. They say, well, men want this or men want that or whatever, so on and so forth. Okay, well, those aren't the men that you should be looking to attract in, right? You should align yourself with better men. And then you also have to take into consideration that since the beginning of time, there's always been hoes and there's always been wives.
And that hurts even more. So it's like, it's so good to see. It's so good to hear when women talk about their fathers this way. And like, I love it. Thank you.
Anton, can I ask you a question? If a woman who you might have heard, you might not have seen any yourself, or you might have seen how she treat other men, right? When she's, on that masculine, when her masculine energy is really showing, how do she act when she come around you in your environment?
I just think that certain women act a certain type of way in person. That's different depending on the man that she surrounds herself with.
Good point.
I think that they're completely different. When they're in a certain environment versus in others. And so when you start to look at this whole question, you say, do absentee fathers create masculine women? Yeah, they do, until. It's always an until.
Go ahead.
Right? What is she supposed to do? Die? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's gonna do what she got to do to survive, and if she gets opportunities, she's gonna try to thrive. But see, the other side of it is that I see women that the answer is yes, it does. It really does. Even if women don't know that they operate from a masculine perspective, in a lot of ways they do. And in a lot of ways, it's hard for them to turn it off, because now that's why you got women saying that they need a partner. You know what I'm saying? Instead of I need a husband. You don't even see women say that anymore. They don't even say I want a husband. They say I want a partner.
Bro, that shit is disgusting. I ain't nobody's fucking partner. That shit is disgusting, bro.
Well, Anton, you said you look at your wife as a business partner, if I'm not mistaken.
What I said was marriage is a business first from a man's perspective. But if you're doing it the right way, then a woman can look at it from a love first perspective. But I'm not supposed to see marriage from the same perspective that she's supposed to see it. Right? The environment that I've created allows for her to fall into that femininity, to look at it from a love perspective.
Anton, you said something, and it leads to my point. I 100% agree with everything that you said. So when I hear men crying about when women is in their atmosphere, in their environment, and then they out of control, then they want us to jump on board and talk about the woman who's in his environment out of control. She's only acting the way she thinks that she needs to act in the environment that she's in to survive.
But the caveat to that, though, Rashawn, is that just because you've had a father in a household does not mean that he was the man that he was supposed to be.
I agree. 100%.
So when you see women operate in a certain type of way, but they still had a father in the household, a lot of times that's a reflection of the man that they was raised under, right?
I 100% agree. We have no arguments here. So the point that I was trying to get to is, when I hear men crying about women not respecting them, it's just kind of crazy. It's really crazy. Oh, she be acting like she the man. Bro, you really telling on yourself. You're not even talking. Like, you might think that you shading her, but you really talking about yourself and the environment that you created for her. And if she feel like she got to be the man in the environment that you have created, it's a problem. That's a real issue. It's a lack of accountability and responsibility that when I'm hearing men crying about, it's just crazy to me, man. I thank you for answering the questions, bro.
Yeah, I think that women know who they can get away with certain things with when they're in the environment. They know instinctively what they can get away with, and just like everybody plays down to whoever it is that they're around. Like, if y'all really want a man to be a certain type of way, all y'all got to do is raise y'all standards collectively. All y'all got to do is raise y'all standards. The standards is so low now that guys don't even have to really try to do anything just to get you. It used to be a barrier to entry. Like it used to didn't be this easy for dudes to just walk around and get pussy. Not saying that every dude is getting pussy, but I'm just saying that if you just really wanted to go and get it, you can go and get it without even blinking. Really isn't even that hard anymore. And so why should a guy respect you, or why should he treat you like a queen when you offering him peasant pleasantries? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's more than that. I think it's more than that too, though. That's absolutely true. The standard has dropped overall for women, right? But at the same time, the standard and the
Can somebody mute out, because can everybody mute out? Watch
everybody mute if you're not talking.
I think the purpose of men has changed too. Like before, when men had to actually work to get the woman, or whatever the case may be, they also were looking for more than just sex too. Like men were looking for wives. They understood they had an assignment to complete.
Nah, Javar, you wrong. Guys has always been looking for sex. It's just that they knew that they had to marry you in order to get it.
Yes, right. That was the.
But
kid.
even that's true. But still, the job was different then. People weren't just out here lollygagging online. We go on the panel for hours. Like they were really trying to survive.
But that's the point. That's the whole point.
But it's big. No, that ain't the whole point. We're talking about y'all talking about just sex. Y'all saying I married them just because they know they had to do that in order to get laid.
You couldn't get sex back then. That's the point.
They didn't want just sex back. They didn't have time for just sex back then. They were really trying to make it.
Who didn't have time for just sex back then?
My granddaddy didn't have time for that. They trying to Mississippi
have time for sex. What are you talking about? We just couldn't get it.
Hold on,
easy.
Listen, we going out.
Men, we got the same dicks as we had back then. A dick is a dick. A pussy is a pussy.
Wait. I'm not going to go down that part. I agree with the fellas. Like, men knew that they had to do certain things in order for them to get the box. It's just like when you was in high school. Oh, you got to go with me first, right? Like, you got to go before she give herself to you. Like, she knew it was something in there, like it was a standard. I'm not just going to give myself to you all easily. Like,
yeah, but the difference though, Rashawn, is that Mr. Let Go is right, but the other part of it is just that there's always been. It seems like today women play down to the lowest common denominator. They say, well, men want this or men want that or whatever, so on and so forth. Okay, well, those aren't the men that you should be looking to attract in, right? You should align yourself with better men. And then you also have to take into consideration that since the beginning of time, there's always been hoes and there's always been wives.